Hey everyone, Matt Hilton here, the host of the Matt Hilton Show. Thanks for tuning in today. Today's guest is a friend of mine, and she's an international communication and media coach. You don't want to miss this episode. Stay tuned for a word from our sponsor.
With almost 20 years of real estate experience in the North Texas area, the professional realtors at Hilton Realty Advisors have helped over 500 clients with their housing needs. Hilton Realty Advisors covers all areas of real estate: buying, selling, building, investing, and renting. We deliver the keys to homeownership to all through integrity, love, and joy. Call us today for all of your real estate needs.
Hey everyone, Matt Hilton here. Thank you for tuning in to the Matt Hilton Show. Today's guest is a friend of mine. I met her a few weeks ago at a seminar, and she is someone that I found to be very inspiring and special. And Elizabeth de Moraes is here. And I tried to roll that R. It doesn't sound as smooth as you say it. But thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me and inviting me here. I'm super excited.
Yeah, for sure. So you do a lot of things. And one of the things that you are the executive producer and CEO of ELI Productions.
Yes.
So what does that do? And also tell us, how did you get into that type of work?
Definitely, yes. Yeah. Well, ELI Productions, our tagline is Unleash Your Inner Celebrity. So what we want to do is really help you develop that confidence, that inner knowing that you know needs to be expressed, and then hone that. So the personal branding, the confidence, like I said, the personal branding, and then your public presence. How are you showing up in the media? How are you articulating yourself when you're at networking events? How are you showing up on camera and on stage? And then on top of it, we produce all of your videos that you might need. So your story, your reels, any of that production that you need, we can make.
Oh, so it's the really
thank you. It's the full picture. It's the full person, and then all the production around it. We don't just do the production. Wow,
fantastic. Yes. So how did you get into that line of work? Is there something that happened as a child, or what happened?
It's been a huge evolution, I have to say. I mean, I will say that it started probably when I was 4 or 5. Just think about this. I'm a 70s baby. I don't know how it went. Okay. And you know that Saturday mornings, 5:30, 6 a.m. is when those cartoons came out. Yep. And I am getting to a point here. You're like, wait, how did that come about? Like, what you do now and a cartoon? But I was down in our basement, and it was chilly, and I was all cuddled up, and all of a sudden, Fantasia from Disney came on, and those dancing hippopotami came out. Hyacinth hippopotamus started dancing. She had this tutu on, and she was dancing so gorgeously, and I said, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. Someday I'm going to be a professional dancer. I wanted to be able to communicate. I was really shy at the time, and I wanted to communicate, but I found a way to communicate and not have to speak, because that's what dance would be. I could communicate. I could be in front of an audience. And really help share that human experience, but not have to open my mouth, because I was terrified to open my mouth. Fast forward to getting into college, and then after that, I did get to pursue a professional dance career. I was a choreographer and teacher, and all throughout Europe and the States, went on to do my graduate work in dance anthropology and analysis, and then dance praxis is where you combine the practical side, the exercises, with the theoretical. And when you merge the two, as a performer, your performing ability really explodes. And so when I did that, when I really went into that research, my own personal performing abilities just exploded. And so then I was able to transfer that to other professionals. And I watched them, and I witnessed them being able to communicate in such a more powerful way, connect with their audience, and to be one with themselves alone on stage, and to where they can let go of control, where they then have ultimate control, because they have full trust in anything that comes from them in terms of the timing and if they forget anything. Fast forward, where then I started my own business because kids came around. There were some other things that happened in between, but I thought all of a sudden, all these people are having to get onto video. This was around 2016, 17, Facebook Live was starting to come out, and all these entrepreneurs who had been relying on imagery and text, now I have to get on camera, and I have no idea how to do that. I thought, well, why not take my past experiences and ability to connect with an audience on camera and on stage, transfer that to these entrepreneurs. And so my business then exploded from that, and it was primarily online. So I was helping entrepreneurs online with their video presence. Fast forward, I was seeing all these people need equipment. Why am I sending them all over the place for their microphones, their lights? And I invented what's called, at that point, was the Video Glam Cam Kit, which was a media kit with everything you need to really show up powerfully on camera. Now, of course, you yourself, the confidence has to come out, but so many times, though, not having those elements stopped and still stops a lot of people if they say, oh, well, I can't figure out my lighting, I can't go on video. But there's so many people that need to hear your message. And so this kit, at that point, really helped a lot of people. Fast forward again, it's now called the Icon on the Go. And we have a huge studio light, ring light, and smaller ones that are fold up with mics, and also it's really evolved. And so with starting as a little kid, being terrified to speak, to find out, oh, I can dance, I can move, I communicate. I can communicate. How can I then transfer that to other professionals and now to entrepreneurs? To then, wait, I've got so many other things that I want to share that I can do. Why not put that all under one roof? And that's how ELI Productions came to be.
So what was the point, Elizabeth, where you went from expressing yourself through dance through the spoken word?
Good question. It was again an evolution where I then started getting into acting. I'll say that this is probably where it started because I started taking acting classes, started doing on-camera acting. I then got an agent. And the reason why I hesitate in saying this is because I don't know if there was one point where it was like, oh, now I can speak. It was more of, well, if I act, I'm still performing. I'm performing a character, I'm not myself, but I'm now learning how to communicate.
Right.
And then it was really around that time when now video is coming to be, okay, if I'm gonna be teaching people how to really show up on camera, I need to be authentic. I need to be able to be an authentic voice that's my voice on camera as well. And so it was in that time frame. 2016, 17, where I started having to hone myself as, in a sense, that spokesperson.
Yeah.
But I can't say that there was one specific moment where I thought, oh, there is a story we might get to in terms of sitting in the wrong chair where I was censoring myself, where it was time to, okay, no, you need to now start speaking. But it's that transformation that I went through from actor, speaking on camera, to, okay, there's a need that other people need to learn. That means I need to now develop that skill as well.
Yeah.
To now I love speaking on stage.
Now you love it.
Well, now I've combined everything. I can get on stage and speak and perform and do the same on camera and have a blast. Because it's really about touching other people's hearts and souls and taking them on a journey so that they can see where they can go themselves.
Yeah. And I love that you did dance and then speech, like, because both can express, and you can see the expression of someone through both.
Exactly,
mediums, right?
Right, exactly. Because I mean, I could just sit here and speak, and you could hear my voice so well, and I can do all the intonation. But if I start moving my body, using my nonverbal communication so much, like even just the eyes, so much can be communicated, more so than just hearing the voice.
Yeah.
So that's why I love that you're doing a show that's also video, because it will access so much in other people in terms of what they're taking from you and your guests.
Yeah.
So it's awesome that
Well,
you're doing that. Not just the audio.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. And so you started off with dance, and I want to get into our show and tell because both of your items here are from that dance era.
Yes.
So please do show and tell.
Okay, wonderful. Well, this basket holds in. And I know you've gotten some people to tear up, and it might happen with me today too, just talking about this. This is a basket that, it's a little suitcase that carried all of my dance stuff, my tights, my shoes, even the little bobby pins and clips, and even some of the cotton from my point shoes. And I was, what age was I? 11. Well, we moved to Germany when I was 8, And I was going to be that professional dancer. So I went into very strenuous ballet training at a ballet academy in Germany. And at that time, my mom was very sick with depression. From the age of 3 months, or 3 weeks actually, until I was about 10, she was in and out of hospital for depression. And so I'm in a foreign country. My mom is in the hospital, my dad is working, and so every single day I got on my bike with this and rode to my dance classes because I could totally throw myself in it. Sorry, I told you. Yep. Throw myself into dancing and communicate and express myself through that. And so this holds so much beautiful energy, but also, and I don't want to say it holds pain, but it represents so much of who I am and what made me who I am, to feel deeply and to be very observant. Because with my mom being depressed, I didn't want to rock the boat. So I became very observant, and which also then is very wonderful for creativity and also for understanding other people. Because I can look at someone, not only knowing movement, I can also look at someone and go, oh, okay, something's up. And then be able to pull that out of them as well to help them. And so this just means so much because it just held so much of my journey back then. And then, of course, my first point shoes, which are so tiny. and they're so broken. But I was 12 when I first got to wear these. And for dancers out there who are in ballet, that first pair of point shoes is so important to them. So that's why I brought them, because it represents really the foundation of my life.
Yeah.
So,
do you find that looking back on, when you were dancing and your mom in and out of hospitals with depression, like, do you think that may have been one of the reasons why you didn't feel like you could speak?
Possibly. Partially and possibly. Yeah. I can't fully explain that, but how often do we have things spoken over us that we then fulfill? So at that time, because I didn't want to rock the boat, I wouldn't speak very much. So then it was spoken over me that I was shy.
Yeah.
So I fulfilled that role of being shy, which then meant that I still have so much inside of me that needs to be expressed. Okay, I want to go into dance.
Right.
It's my way to be fully myself and fully explode and it be safe.
Wow.
But at the same time, many people would say going up on stage like that is terrifying. That's my home. That's where I feel most at home and feel like, okay, now I can fully be myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's probably some very much relevance to that her being sick.
Yeah. So part of show and tell is things that bring you joy.
Yes.
So tell us about this mirror ball trophy here.
Well, this brings me joy too.
Yes.
But yes, this represents. You want me to hold it?
Yes, please.
Hold it like my flowers. This represents so much for me and our family, for relationship. I mean, it has so much meaning. This sits on my desk, and it represents growth within my relationship with my husband, for our girls, and us as a family. And I know that sounds crazy to go with mirror ball. But when we had our family, I continued dancing a bit. I taught at TCU when our first daughter was born, and I was also still touring with a dance company. And then a few months into that, I just stopped dancing. It was just too much to not only be a professor and be dancing, but also in the dance world, in a dance department, you not only are teaching, you're also doing rehearsals in the evenings and in the weekends. And so I just said, I need to fully focus on our family. So I quit dance for 14 and a half years. And then we live in Coppell, and someone in Colleyville said, hey, we've got this Rotary Club competition called Dancing for the Stars. It's like Dancing with the Stars, but Dancing for the Stars. I always get the two mixed up.
It's for the stars, yeah.
Yeah. And so, what they do is they partner up celebrities of the community with professional ballroom dancers. And I thought, this would be fun to do. Okay, it's not only a way to support a great cause, I get to promote my business, but also, hey, I get to dance again.
Yeah.
And so
after 14 and a half years,
yes,
right?
It's still totally in me.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll believe you.
And so I started taking ballroom dance lessons. I had never taken ballroom dance lessons or done ballroom. But I was able to, in my brain and body, be able to flip it, into a new dance form for my body. And fast forward a few months, I was able to, for the first time, show our girls what it's like for mom to dance, and for them to see me perform for real, and to see me fully in my full brilliance. They'd never seen that before. And then for my husband to see me stepping into something that I absolutely love, that is part of my soul that he hadn't seen in a long time.
Right.
And so it represents so much. And so with that, I did win Best Dancer.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I also did my first ballroom dance competition and won that. So in I think it was down in Houston. It was a big, like, ballroom dancers, not just anybody from the community. It was serious ballroom dancers, and I won in my category and got to perform it again in front of everyone at the evening gala dinner. Wow. So it represents a lot to just say, okay, yeah, I still have it in me, and for our girls to see what that was like.
Yeah. Well, thank you for showing.
Of course, may I put that over there?
For sure. Colleyville Rotary 2019 Dancing for the Stars winner.
Yes. So they had both a best dancer and then one who raised the most funds.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Going into speaking now.
Yes.
How does one connect with the audience? What are some pointers that you can give my audience when they're speaking to connect with the audience?
Great question. The first step is to connect with yourself.
How do you do that?
When you are good question too, when you are either in front of the camera or on stage, to take a moment and pause and say, okay, what am I feeling right now? I need to remember that this is about them, not me, so that you become more self-aware rather than self-conscious. So you don't go up there. Of course, you're going to go up there and be like, okay, am I shaky? Is my paper shaking? Am I, getting sweaty? All of that.
I have lipstick on my teeth. All the things.
Right. We had that conversation. And so to take a moment, breathe, connect with your, I would say, our higher source. For me, it's God. Say, okay, God, speak through me, please. I'm your vessel, and I'm going to let go. And so you have to connect with yourself first, whatever that means for you, and take a moment of pause, breathe, get into your body. Sometimes when we get in front of people to speak, we're very disconnected, and then we think, wait, how did I even get off stage? What did I say while I was on stage? Right? So connect first, and then while you're speaking, give me a context when you say, how do you connect with your audience? Like, are we in a stage situation?
Yeah, a stage situation where you have maybe 100 to 300 people in the audience, whatever number that is, and how do you connect?
It's like I said, with yourself first, and then you have to do your research before. So this isn't just about the communication aspect. It's why are you even there? Who are you speaking to? And what are their pain points? What are they striving for? What are their dreams and aspirations? So that whatever your topic is, you can really guide that towards specifically them. If I'm speaking to a bunch of engineers, let's just say, it's a group of male engineers who are in their 60s. It's going to be completely different compared to some 25-year-old new moms who are wanting to start a business. I can have the same topic, but I need to know what is really driving them, and then I can speak directly to them. So it's that pre-work you do when you're communicating if it's a talk, understanding where they're coming from. And then when you are in front of them, now you've got ways to really bring up a story that you've experienced, or an experience that you've experienced, that you tell that story that will resonate with them. And then it's this this back and forth, because once you start telling the story, you start listening and you start seeing their body language and how they're responding. That gives you more information to then give more and go back and forth. It's a communication. Now, it's more difficult if you're in front of the camera and you can't make that up, what their response is, and that's why a lot of people get fearful. Some of the most amazing orators can get terrified on camera because they're used to that back and forth communication. When it's in front of the camera, you just kind of have to make it up for yourself. But the way to connect is to really go, oh, okay, and now they're laughing. How, timing-wise, when do I let that die down so I can say something, to really bring them in, or I say something really, really profound that they need to process. I'm going to pause for a moment and just let them. Okay, now we're going to talk, because that way we really can connect, even more so.
Yeah,
it
totally makes sense to me, because I've done a lot of speaking in the past, and I pick up on those cues. Like if I say something, I told a story one time and I saw somebody, I was like, okay, that connected with them, right?
Right, exactly.
Or you see them smile or nod their head or something like that, right? And you know, okay, they're listening, right? Hearing is one of our senses, right? But listening is a skill. And so, but then the camera, like, this was a big step for me, just like you said, in the evolution of your career, right? And just getting people to be comfortable with the camera, because you can't pick up on those cues.
No.
I can't see what my audience is thinking right now if they're saying, whoa, that was profound, or oh, whatever. And
let me go cook.
Or even listening, right? No, but yeah, so it's a very interesting medium.
It is. It is, and it takes a lot of practice and skill.
So how do you get someone to a point where, because I hear all the time, I don't like my voice. I don't like my voice.
Right.
I look 10 pounds heavier on camera. Like, what is all that? How do you help people get over those fears?
Well, there are two things that I would say. One is, if you're speaking directly to the camera and say it's a message to your audience specifically, it's not an interview, I'm saying something right to you as the listener or the viewer. You can think of putting a picture of someone right next to the lens of someone, either who, if you're a business owner, who is your ideal client that you love interacting with, where you know the best parts of you come out, where you can feel really comfortable, but you're still that expert. You're not like just like unless that's how you communicate. Like that, everybody's different. But say it's in business and you just feel your best with that certain person. Put a picture of them right next to the lens. You can't look at them because, and I know we have cameras in other angles, but like if I'm looking at you, your eyes in the lens, and I have the picture right there, I'm not, you're not going to see me as having eye contact. So you see it there to remind you, you're like, okay, let me get into that, and then I'm going to speak directly to that person. And another thing is you could have a spouse or your partner, your kids, whatever makes you show up as your most joyful or grounded, whatever you're trying to bring across to the camera, that person that you just feel, okay, I'm me, and now I'm just going to share it. And then to remember, it's all about being self-aware, not self-conscious, that it's all about them, not about you. So you could be all messed up, your hair's not done, women or whoever is not wearing their makeup. You don't go, oh, I'm just coming on today. I know I look terrible. No, they don't care. Like, they want to know what your message is. So that's one thing. Another thing to practice is to video yourself 3 to 5 minutes and just speaking something. It doesn't have to be prepared. It's just, today I had this for breakfast and now I'm doing this and all that. And then put the phone down. If you're doing it on your phone, put it down, play the video, but just listen. Listen to how you sound. And it's always a transition, because like the first thing you said is, I don't like my voice. Or maybe not you, but you said a lot of people will say, I don't like my voice. And so you listen to it and you have to overcome that cringiness and say, okay, if I want to get better at this, I do need to work on it. So what do I need to work on? Okay, it's very quiet. All the time. Or I just speak monotone like this and there's no interest. Oh, maybe I need to start changing my intonation, the speed, some pausing, all of those elements. Okay, next time when I do it, I'm going to speak a little bit faster. Or maybe I won't have that southern twang that I have so much that really gets in my way. Like, really looking at that. Now, watch the video without the sound. Watch your mannerisms. Are you stuck like this and you're talking and it's just your head? Or are you too much all over the place? Or is there an ease? Is there a confidence? Is the posture good? Oh, okay, yeah, I look pretty good. Or, yeah, kind of have these hunched shoulders. What can I do next time to do that?
Right.
And then the next step would be to have it transcribed. You can use apps like Otter AI or even Google Docs, where you can just play it and it will transcribe it for you. Now print it out and now look at all the filler words, all the ums, the uhs, the you know, the right. You know, there's one interview in particular that I use as a training tool that it was earlier in my career, and then getting in and doing interviews like this, where the interviewer would ask me a question and I would start answering, and then I'd say, right? And then there's this thing, right? Because I was needing that validation, but it became a habit as well. And then the moment you start taking those little filler words out, you sound so much more eloquent, so much more as an authority. And so video, listen to it without seeing it, see it without listening or hearing, and then transcribe it and do it over and over again. And you can do that. I mean, you don't have to just do a random video. Any videos that you put out there, do exactly that, and you'll start getting better and better and better. I'm sure the first time you did this, your first episode, you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, how good, right? And there's always, I mean, you're always going to have to work on getting better. And sometimes, I know for myself, I'll listen to something, I'm like, wow, my voice sounds so good. And then others, I think, that sounds like a lazy lady who's just like, hi. So even though I think I'm just, chilled out and relaxed, I think, no, I'm not articulating and enunciating things very well.
Right.
I need to remember that when I'm not as energetic, I need to really pump it up.
Hey everyone, that's a wrap for today. Stay tuned next week for the second part of Elizabeth's story, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
If you'd like to contact Matt or know a fascinating person with an inspiring story that would make a great guest, reach out to the show at themattHiltonshow@gmail.com.